All right, this is the situation. This is a large website we just deployed into production. It's a client site with a size of 3 GB of WP content folder, and the database is 950 plus megabyte, which is almost a gigabyte in size. And now after we deploy, the first thing we do is make a deployable a bundle of the site and back it up so that in case anything happens, we get to recover the site. So this is the backend, and I have tried recently using all-in-one WP migration, but the sheer size of it took a long time, and at the end it failed. So now the decision is to use this guy here, Duplicator for WordPress, and this is one favorite of mine, but the problem here is the site is too large, and nowadays this is limiting us to 500 megabyte sites. So we are going to have to install the Pro version. With the Pro version, I myself have experience with replicating websites the size of up to 12 gigabyte. But after that, any larger than that, so far even Duplicator Pro failed. So anyway, this is 3 gigabyte in size, so let's give it a shot. Upload. And I have the guy right here, so I will drag and like that, install. All right, it's done. Now let's activate. All right, so this is putting that up because I haven't used the license yet, which I will. Okay, so I went ahead and activated the plugin, so that annoying banner is now gone. So let's create a deployment bundle. All right, so this is for templating purposes. This is something extra that doesn't show up in a free version. So this is pretty much to make a copy of the profile so that you can use it over and over for similar circumstances, but I'm not gonna be bothered with it. I'm just gonna go ahead and rename it here, prod for production. The date is already here, so let's hit next. All right, so now it actually found the size to be 17 gigabyte. The reason being, this site actually has a whole bunch of other subsites or subdomains underneath it. So this is the beauty of the Duplicator Pro version, that we can actually go in here and check how big everything is and where they are, what is taking that much space. All right, here's another one. It's a subdomain. We do not need that. Or okay, so there's a subdomain, there's another one, there's another one. So these are just other sites in there. And dev, I know this is our dev version, so got rid of that. But this content we are going to need. Okay, let's run the filter. All right, so now everything came down to 1.48 gigabyte, but we still need to make sure we're not leaving out something important. Okay, upload is there. So basically we are down to 1.44 gigabyte. That is the nice and manageable size. So let's do it. Let's go with the build process. Alright, so while this is still going on, I went ahead and came here, created another subdomain for that, so that I can, whatever I create, in here, I can deploy here as a backup. And under this, I threw in an index.html file so that I can make sure that I'm actually reaching the right target. And these are all being done on a VPS environment with the WHM, and by using cPanel. This time I'm going to do some preparation work, which means creating a database for that new subdomain. Create. All right, now let's go back. All right, we are going to attach that database with the user that I already have here. So let's pick up new off, add, and let's give the privileges. Meanwhile, I always do, because we're going to need this information to deploy the site using Duplicator Pro. So I'm just going to collect it right here in a separate file like that. All right, so once changes have been made, we go back, and looks like our database should be ready. Right here, this one is our database. I have the information handy. So at this point, what we're going to do, once the bundle is created, we're going to upload that bundle right here. It's going to give us a zipped file and an installer.php, and we're going to use this DNS to access that and follow the step-by-step process and provide the necessary information that we collected, like this, the database information, and we're going to install the site and check and verify everything went well. So meanwhile, let me check on this. It's already 53% up. So since this is a pretty large one, it's taking a while. I mean, so far I calculated it's about 30 minutes is going on. It's up to 1.26 gigabyte in size. So we just have to be patient in this kind of cases. So once this is done, we'll be right back. Okay, so finally, Duplicator Pro has finished building our bundle, and we can just click here to download. So before we do, let's check up on some other details, because these are the stuff mostly shows up on a pro version. The free version doesn't really have lots of these stuff. So let's check it out. All right, so here's some general details, some storage location, and some other details for you. And as an extra benefit, it comes with a file transferring thing. I haven't used it yet, but I'm just going to show you in case you're curious. Just leave a note or leave a comment down there so I can create another video for you. But this is where all the remote storages are listed, so you can actually create the storage, connect it, and then send the data over. Duplicator Pro will help you to do that. So for now, let's go back and hit this button so that we can, it usually generates an installer file and an archive zip file where all the content is. So we're gonna go ahead and request for both, and this is, you know, still a pretty large one, so it's gonna take some time. So we will be back once it's done. Okay, so we are back and the download has been completed, and right here the files. So now to redeploy this site, we are going back here. This is the subdomain and this is the file system, and the files are right here. We're about to upload them here, and to make sure that yes, we are in the right spot, and let's go back and delete this. Okay, let's do a refresh. Okay, confirm the changes. Now let's go do a upload the installer file and the archive bundle. So once this finishes, we'll be back again. Okay, so as this is going on, there's another thing I do. Keep a backup of this bundle and upload to our dev share folder in Google Drive under project folder, under the right project. And before I do, I usually create a folder and name it properly, then drop these, and then make a zip folder out of it. The reason I do that is sometimes when you have this zip archive like that, just drop them right here, and when you try to download them, what happens is after download, system just extracts it. So, and that causes some trouble when you try to reuse them. So it's better to have them inside a folder, then zip it up. So later on, when you're going to download it, you're going to download the zip folder and open it up, and you're going to find these files intact. So now that this is done, I'm just going to drag and drop it right here, and now we know that we have a backup in case we need it to come back. So let's see what's the status. All right, it's done. So now let's go back. So this is our target. So as we saw before, we were testing it with other files. Now this is our subdomain. We're going to target the installer PHP, and it should bring up the setup screen. There you go. So, and meanwhile, it's nice to have all this information handy. You will see very quickly. Everything seems to have passed. Check this. Next. All right. So at this point, we are going to, let's make some room here. And grab this the database name here, the user, put it here, and the password. All right, and test the connection. Boom, it passes. So anytime this installation comes this far, you know 99.99% is going to be a success. So let's hit next. Yes. Okay, so at this step we can actually change the title, and it's showing everything, and also these are some extra features that you don't have on the free version, like search and replace, in case you want to, you know, some URL or some such you want to replace. And then there's other options, a whole bunch of things like scan options, and then plugins, what to do, what to add, what not to add, activate, blah blah blah. I never use that, but I just wanted to show you because it's the pro version and these are extra stuff. So a lot of other options also available. So now I'm just going with the default, and I'm going to hit next. Okay, so we are finally done. Everything looks good, and now let's try to log in to the back end. All right. All right. Looks like we are in, and not now. So let's check the front end. And we just create an exact replica of production using Duplicator Pro. Another success. Thanks for watching.